What's going on, YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It is Kevin Forte coming to you live from Long Island. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Goal Line Hockey live hangout. I want to make that clear, NHL. I know you're looking to copyright this and give me another copyright strike. No. No, we are all clean here. We are not going to be getting a copyright strike today. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining us here on a little bit of a late notice, but better late than never. Guys, if you have not already, make sure to like and subscribe here at the channel, and obviously that helps us out. Looking at a bunch of you guys already in the chat. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Shout out to Irish, who's in the chat. Chargers, Morgan, and Morgan is in the chat. Nice to see you. What's going on, buddy? Urban, we got Urban in here. PJ, Luis, we got a bunch of you guys in here. So shout out to some of the OGs in the house tonight. What's going on, guys? Thank you for joining us today. So we have a lot to talk about. I'm going to let you guys kind of drive the conversation. So whatever you guys want to talk about, I'll try and answer as much as I can. A lot has happened since we've last done a live stream. A lot of hockey. We're starting to get an idea of who some of the better teams are. You know, did teams kind of just fall off the radar in the offseason? Are they actually this good? We're starting to see the real legit teams standing out and really making some noise this season. So I'm really glad to see all of you guys in here. You guys are awesome. So thank you so much. So what are you guys saying in here? Oh, and Irish is watching the other game. Member here at the channel. So thank you, Irish. Shout out to Irish. Shout out to Ange, who's also a big member here on the channel. If you guys would like to become a member, make sure to do that. Definitely helps us out supporting the channel. And of course, PJ, who's also in here. PJ is also a member, so thank you so much, PJ. You guys are awesome. Love you all. So, Morgan, what are you saying? The Oilers aren't good. The Oilers suck. Very nice. Urban said, who is more embarrassed by their team than I am of the Wild? Urban, it's probably the Oilers. Because our expectations for the Oilers were so high. The Oilers fans were quite excited going into this season. They were quite vocal. They were quite loud that they could be a Stanley Cup champion this year. And based off how things have gone so far in Edmonton, it doesn't really look like that's going to be in the cards for the Oilers this season. So that's kind of what we're looking at. If I had to pick a team other than Minnesota, and you know what? You know, we were talking about this the other day, Urban. I think Minnesota, the cure for the Minnesota Wild is to play the New York teams. I know they didn't play well in the game against the Rangers, but you know, within like, what was that, like a 2-week span, they played the Islanders and Rangers twice each, and they won 3 of those 4 games. So maybe that's the key, playing more of the New York teams. So we're about to get into the second period here for the Islanders and Oilers, the Orange and Blue Bowl, which is in Edmonton, Alberta. So look at the carousel of coaches. Jesus. And Chris Knobloch, I actually saw him in person as a head coach with the Hershey Bears affiliate. He was with the Hartford Wolfpack, the Rangers AHL team. He was a really good coach. He was in line to get the job last year with the Rangers, but they ultimately went with Peter Laviolette. And it seems like that was a pretty good move, at least with how the Rangers have started this season. Is he ready for this job is another question, especially when you have Paul Coffey kind of mentoring him and he wasn't allowed to bring in his own guys. I do have some questions about how much Knobloch has control over this situation, but we're going to find out pretty quickly if the Oilers are able to right the ship here. He's an Alberta guy. He went to school in Alberta, met his wife there. So there's a lot of connections for him in Edmonton, in that area. And hopefully things work out. He seems like a pretty cool dude, and I hope the best for him. And he's done a really good job in Hartford, like I said. So we'll see if he's able to bring over that type of system to the NHL level, which is obviously a totally different beast. So we'll see what happens, and especially in Edmonton, the expectations are going to be a lot higher in Edmonton than they were in Hartford with the Wolfpack. I believe he's also looking for his first win as the head coach of the Oilers tonight. So that'll be kind of interesting to see if he's able to do that. Shout out to Shazam in the chat, my Islanders fan here in the chat. What's going on, Shazam? Big Kev, long time. Lane Lambert ain't the guy. We need another Trotz type. And I totally agree with you on that. I think the Islanders really have started to fall away from their identity. And as much as everyone says, oh, the Islanders need to score more goals and this and that, you need to find a coach that is able to work with what he has. Let's be honest, the Islanders don't have the skill and depth of most teams around the league. But even with that, the way they're kind of moving about things has me concerned with the way Lambert's kind of running things. Anders Lee has been terrible for the Islanders. Hopefully he's able to get a little bit better because he has not been good. There's definitely some reasons for concern with Lambert. And I kind of said, after this Western Canadian road trip, they play 4 games. I believe they play Edmonton tonight, Calgary, Vancouver, and Seattle. And if they don't win 3 of those 4 games here, this might be it for Lambert. And I'm saying that as in nice of a way as I can because I don't wish for the firing of anybody. But I think it would be enough time to say, all right, this isn't our guy. This is his last shot. The Islanders are on the road. Maybe that's the best thing for them. Find a way to pick up some wins on the road. There's no fans booing or anything like that. Just find a way to play your game. Get back on track. This is kind of your get right for the season. And if not, it's pretty indicative of just how far the Islanders have fallen if they really struggle on this road trip. Because all of these teams, other than Vancouver, are struggling and they are out of a playoff spot right now. So only other than Vancouver, Seattle, Edmonton, and Calgary are all out of a playoff spot at the making of this video. So that's something to consider there. PJ said Flames need to retain money on Huberdeau contract and trade him. I know there's a lot of frustration with Huberdeau. The expectation was it would get better, right? Daryl Sutter's no longer there. Things should improve. Well, a lot of things should happen, but they don't necessarily happen. This is indicative of maybe Huberdeau just not being the type of player in the system he's in. In Calgary, it just doesn't work. I wish the best for him. He was an underrated player for a long time in Florida, and then everybody started to recognize him, and now he's kind of overrated, right? So it's one of those things. I hope he gets back on track. But obviously, yeah, things have not gone well for Huberdeau. His numbers are atrocious this year. And you just got to find a way to get back on track. Because he is a guy that it just seems like a lot of it is just he's in his own head. And I think that's really where the root of the problem is there. Daryl Sutter for the Islanders head coach. PJ, if you say that one more time, I swear to God. PJ loves saying that. I'm going to the Flames versus Islanders game. Oh, that'll be fun. That'll be a very high-scoring game, I'm sure, PJ. No, it's probably going to be like 2-0 or 1-0. But honestly, I think looking at this, at Calgary and the Islanders, I think for both of those teams, it's going to be a good litmus test for just how bad. Like, if you lose that game, either of those teams should be like, oh, crap, we're in trouble, More so the Islanders, I think, than Calgary, but Morgan, you keep messing me up with changing your name, but Morgan said, I'm happy the Knights won the cup. Like, holy, you should have seen me. I was crying like a little kid. That's awesome, Morgan. I'm glad that they were able to win the cup. I really like the Golden Knights. I know a lot of fans on the West Coast don't necessarily like them, rightfully so. But I think there's a lot about that team that is good for the game of hockey. We're going to see a new team in Houston. We might even see another team here in the very not-so-distant future. I think the growth of the Golden Knights quickly led to the expansion of Seattle, and wherever the NHL goes next, a lot of that's going to be on the back of the success of the Golden Knights. Love them or hate them. Trade Huberdeau to Minnesota. I'll give you Foligno and Zuccarello. Yeah, that ain't going to happen. Ooh, that was kind of a rough hit. So if you guys have not already, make sure to like the stream. Really helps us out here on the channel, gets us a little bit more noticed on YouTube. So make sure to smash that like button. Give a team to Quebec. They deserve it, but not Atlanta or Houston. I hate to say, Morgan, I agree with you. I agree that Quebec would be a great hockey market. Bringing a team back to Quebec, hopefully named the Nordiques. But at the end of the day, it comes down to money. And Gary Bettman and the NHL are going to say, yeah, Quebec is up there, but are they the best option for us right now? And in terms of revenue and money and growing the game, Houston is definitely the one the NHL has to be considering very highly up there. Now, I remember hearing a couple years ago we were talking about like something like Milwaukee maybe getting a team, but I always thought that was kind of BS. Like, that's not a huge market, right? Like Milwaukee, the Midwest, Wisconsin, there aren't that many people there. That's not a huge population. And especially when you have teams like Minnesota already like in that Midwestern area, St. Louis, would that be too much oversaturation? Now, a lot of people say, well, the reason the Green Bay Packers are so big is because there aren't a ton of other sports in that area. And we've seen that's not true because you do have the Milwaukee Bucks, who are a pretty big NBA franchise, the Milwaukee Brewers. So there are other sports, professional sports, that work in Milwaukee. I just wonder what they could really do with that. Plus, they already have an AHL team. Again, there are places that have multiple NHL and AHL teams. You look at Chicago, they've got the Chicago Wolves, the Chicago Blackhawks, right? They're able to reside in the same city. Chicago is a much bigger city than Milwaukee, right? And some of you guys are saying that too small. But I would love to see a team back in Quebec, definitely to say the least. What's going on, Surreal? Surreal is in the chat. Thank you so much for joining us. Hey, Goal Line Hockey fam, good to see you all. Yes, I'm glad to have you guys all back. I'm glad you were all in here with us tonight. It is very nice to see all of you guys, and you guys are the best. So it is 1-1 between the Islanders and the Oilers in the classic blue and orange bowl game. It's looking more like a toilet bowl between the Islanders and the Oilers that they're fighting for because both of these teams have not been good. The Islanders have lost 5 of their past 6 games. The Oilers have been pretty bad so far as well. So, it's kind of interesting to see these two teams that used to be perennial powerhouses in the NHL in the early 80s, now all of a sudden teams that look anything but that. And, hey, there we go. We have a nice little chat here from PJ. PJ has been a member for 5 months, so thank you so much. PJ, you are awesome. Said Celebrini to the Flames. I am calling it. Yeah, it seems like there's a couple kids. I have to do more research on this year's draft. I haven't really looked at that much. I know there's a guy, Cole Iserman, Macklin Celebrini, who everybody's been talking about. There's a couple guys that I think are going to be very high up in this year's draft. A lot of teams are going to be tanking for. So, yeah, hopefully, PJ, hopefully that works out for the Flames because I think they're going to need it after this season and last, really, for both seasons combined. A consolation prize of Macklin Celebrini definitely wouldn't hurt. Oh, no. Whenever McDavid has the puck in the offensive zone, I definitely have to catch my breath a little bit. Like, uh-oh, here we go. And Irish, yeah, so thank you for joining us, another member here. And he said, sounds like the Avs lost 5 of their last 6. I'm more surprised by the Avalanche going on that little tumble because the Islanders, we all kind of knew going into the season, like a lot of people don't even have the Islanders making the playoffs, right? But Colorado, the assumption has been that they should win the Central Division. So for them to lose 5 of their last 6 is definitely a little uncharacteristic of a team like the Colorado Avalanche, but that's where they find themselves right now. I think they're in a much better position to get out of that position than the Islanders, but again, it's one of those things where we talk about this a lot, and we're seeing it especially right now in Edmonton, where you can't win a season in October, November, and December. You can't. You could win. You could go undefeated for the first 3 months of the season and still miss the playoffs. Now, I'm obviously being a little facetious there, but that would never happen. It is very easy to lose in the first half of the season, though, and that's the thing that's what makes this any sport, but especially hockey, so difficult because when you go down and especially as you get closer to the end of the season, right? You're like between game 70 and 82, those final like dozen games on the schedule, those are the games where guys are playing a little bit banged up, a little injured. And if you're fighting to get back into the playoff race while teams you're trying to catch are winning games and, you had a back-to-back and you didn't win the second night of the back-to-back, you needed 4 points that weekend, that is extremely difficult. And people don't realize how much that takes out of you. And I think that that's why those teams that sometimes it works out, teams that grind their way into the playoffs end up finding a lot of success in the first round and maybe the second round, but they don't get to the cup final because they're burnt out. And even teams that do get to the cup final, I mean, I look at the Florida Panthers last year as a great example of that. They had to fight their way all the way to the final to ultimately be kind of tired out. And that's something that is always a concern for teams that grind their way to the end of the season. But then you look at the opposite effect, where Boston was sitting their top players so they didn't get injured, and then they ended up losing the first round anyway. So that's what makes hockey so great, yet also difficult as a player to play in. But that's the sport. Morgan said, Vancouver has surprised me, and so has Anaheim. St. Louis, Detroit, and how in the hell is Washington still good? And maybe we'll talk about that too, Morgan. Yeah, so Vancouver and Anaheim, really nice surprises. I was expecting them to break out a little bit this year. I've been waiting for Vancouver to break out for 3 years now, though. Like, ever since 2020, we thought, all right, now Vancouver finally has it together. Thatcher Demko, Vezina candidate every year. This is a good team. They've got Elias Pettersson. They've got Hughes. They've got all this talent in a weaker division. It should be a good thing here for the Canucks. But they were never able to put it together consistently. A lot of injuries, coaching situations, bad defensive structure really led to a lot of turmoil in Vancouver, as you guys all well know. Anaheim, same thing. I think it's just indicative of, I think Greg Cronin's message is really ringing with that team. Mason McTavish is playing spectacular. Troy Terry playing really well. John Gibson's been okay. I wish he actually played a little bit better, in all honesty. But the Anaheim Ducks, man, are a legit team. And anybody not taking them seriously definitely has to think about that. And if I'm the Oilers, the fact that Vancouver and Anaheim are having the success they're having, those are 2 more teams that they're going to have to get past now to work their way back into the playoffs. And that's going to be quite difficult. That's going to be a quite difficult task with how good some of those teams look. And a good save there by Stuart Skinner. But, yeah. So that's kind of what I think of that. Yeah, St. Louis. Detroit looked good in the beginning. Detroit's starting to fall back a little bit the past 2 weeks. We're starting to see them lose some games they probably wish they could have back. And Washington has not been good. Washington, I don't know if Toe is going to join the chat at any point, but Washington is definitely a relic of their former self. As some of you guys may or may not know, Nick Backstrom decided to leave the team. That is probably pre-retirement. He can't announce retirement yet, but I can guarantee you 90% Nick Backstrom will not play in the National Hockey League again. And that's a huge loss for Ovechkin. That's a huge loss for the Caps and puts a lot of pressure on some of those guys that are still developing. You know, guys that came up from Hershey, I've watched them. Hendrix Lapierre, Connor McMichael, those are really good hockey players, but making the adjustment from the WHL to the AHL to the NHL within a 5-year span, all three of those leagues, it takes a lot of development. A lot of growth has to happen in a short amount of time. And now that's been accelerated with Nicky Backstrom no longer in Washington. And PJ has a prediction. He said Demko winning the Vezina and Pettersson winning the Hart. That would be quite interesting. Elias Pettersson needs the support cast to be good. And so far, they have been pretty good. Besser looked really good out of the gate. I really like what I've seen from Vancouver. Yeah. And Surreal said, just a matter of time before Connor and Leon get fired up in this season. Yeah, and hopefully it's not the Islanders that they get going. We saw that the other night with the Islanders and the Capitals. Ovechkin had 2 goals to start the season going into Saturday night's contest. He ended up doubling his goal total with 2 goals on Saturday against the Islanders in a 4-1 win at UBS. Thankfully, I did not go to that game. That would have been one that I did go to. It just didn't end up working out. And I think because the Islanders haven't been very good, I'm not as motivated to go to these games. It's kind of a shame. You know, I still have football season, so I'm still watching football. So I'm just not really in the Islander mode right now. It's hard for me to get into the Islanders with how they've been playing and everything else going on. But, yeah. If I'm Vancouver, I'm selling high on Brock. Yeah, I wonder if there's a market for Brock Besser right now. He is a little bit expensive. That's the problem with that. But, yeah, I think Brock Besser... I mean, imagine he did get traded to Minnesota. We always talk about that. But, man, that could have been really interesting. I'm sure Urban is, screaming into the screen, we should have had Brock Besser the whole time. But that's how it works. Morgan said, I have Eichel winning the Hart or the Rocket Richard. That would be really interesting if he won the Rocket. It's not impossible, though. I think they're going to need a little bit of help there, though. But it could definitely happen. And if you guys could, real quick, in the chat, just let me know, how is the audio? Is the audio any good? If you can, just leave a 1 in the chat so I know the audio is good. Just to make sure everything's clean and crisp for you guys so far. It seems pretty good. I have it on my YouTube app on my phone, and it seems pretty good. So, yeah, just let me know if you guys can. And getting ready for tonight's live stream, I made a video on each of these teams earlier today. So if you're an Islanders or an Oilers fan, make sure to check out those videos. I talked about both teams, kind of the struggles that these two teams are in right now. They're both not playing that well. So hopefully they're able to turn things around. One of them will hopefully, bless you, hopefully one of them will be a little bit more positive tonight with a win. Because one of these teams has to win, right? We can't have ties anymore. So somebody's going to have to win this game between the Islanders and the Oilers. Draisaitl going to the box. So we'll see what happens. What did he do? What did Draisaitl do? I'm trying to figure it out. Oh. Wow. So Draisaitl cross-checked the back of Horvat's legs. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. So the Islanders took a penalty 3 seconds into the power play. Holy crap, Lee. What? Are you kidding me? Oh man, that's brutal. I'm sorry. Call me a homer. That's brutal. No, no, no. That's crazy. If I was Horvat and Draisaitl did that to me, I would kick his ass. Yeah. And then the Islanders get a penalty right after that. So Draisaitl basically did that for nothing. Like, no penalty, basically. No consequence for Draisaitl. That's crazy. Oh. Oh. That's brutal. I'm sorry. If it was kind of a weak makeup call, I hate makeup calls and all that crap, but at least you could justify it a little bit. But come on, that was not even a makeup call. Like, that was downright brutal. I'm sorry. Oh, that's tough. He's always in the box like a damn cat. Oh, that's funny. And Wayne Train, thank you, Dad, for joining us here on the chat. Thank you so much, Wayne Train. That's awesome. Glad to see you in there. PJ said if a Flames player did that, they would get a 1-game suspension. Yeah, you know what? It probably, if it was Horvat doing that to Draisaitl, Horvat would probably have a hearing right now if he was in the penalty box, he would have a hearing right now with George Peros while he's in the box. But Draisaitl's allowed to do it, right? Because he's Draisaitl. Such BS. I'm pissed about that. That's a stupid penalty. And Anders Lee has been terrible for the Islanders this year, so I can't even completely defend Anders Lee here. But goddamn, that is a phantom call if I've ever heard of one. I'm sorry, guys. That's brutal. Yeah, I think my dad agrees with me too. Refs suck. Yeah, that's a brutal call. Especially when you give them the power play. And again, I'm saying all this, and we know how bad the Islanders' power play is anyway, so in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. It's not like the Islanders are going to score on the power play, but still. I know, Urban, yeah, Lee used to be good, and I know Minnesota was interested in him, because I believe he's from Minnesota. He played Minnesota football in high school. I think he ended up going to Notre Dame. So, bit of an interesting situation. There with Anders Lee. He's a really good athlete. I just think he's one of those guys that, as time goes along, he's just going to get worse and worse. And really, once he loses his skating, he's going to be hard to watch. I hate to say that with Lee, but I am definitely worried about that a little bit. PJ said, Wahlstrom, I wish he was on the Flames. Imagine Wahlstrom and Coronado on the same line. Oof, that could be kind of interesting. Thank you for joining us, James Farrell, in the chat. Nice to see you back. Welcome, welcome. He said, bro, this team is bad. Lee gotta go. Give the C to Barzell. Yeah, honestly, I don't even know if Barzell's the answer. I hate to say it. As much as I could be mad about Lee and everything else, the Islanders can't move any of these guys. I hate to say it. They gave so much money and investment long term to Barzell, to Lee, to Horvat, to Pajot. You gave so much money to all those guys, you're not going to be able to trade them out, especially mid-season like right now. It's going to be tough to move those guys. And I hate to say it, the only guys you would probably be able to move, if any at all, it might have to be like a Brock Nelson or a Pajot or something like that. And the Islanders would have takers. It's just, what are you doing? You're trading out guys that are good players. You're trading those guys out to just have a cheaper guy do the same role. Is that what it's about, right? So, I don't know. It's kind of a tough situation. Yeah, Lou Lamoriello has really been my Achilles heel. I am not really a fan of him, and I think Lou Lamoriello is a huge part of the problem for the Islanders. That's my take on it. But I think Lamoriello has overstayed his welcome, and he was good for a couple years with the Islanders, but once he fired Barry Trotz, that's really where he lost my trust, like fully. Um, some of the things weren't in his control. He wasn't able to force, you can't force players to come to your team, right? Like Matt Duchene didn't want to come to the Islanders. Panarin didn't want to come to the Islanders. Mark Stone didn't come to the Islanders. Like, some of this stuff is out of your control, but you find a way to get somebody then, right? And the Islanders just were not able to do that. Oh my god, I thought Edmonton was getting that. They almost scored. Stays 1-1 though. PJ, Kev loves his Sparrow pizza. Yeah, no, it's not. It's funny. Okay, I'm going to say it in the chat. So, PJ, at least if you're going to troll, at least spell it right. It's Sparrow pizza, not Sparrow. It might be the way I say it or the accent. I don't know. But that's how you pronounce it. It's Sparrow. How the Donkeys beating the Bills. Who are the Bills playing tonight? The Donkeys. I don't even know who that is. I assume that's the NFL you're talking about, James. Oh, that was a good chance for the Islanders. Oh. Oh. Thank God. Please, please, Islanders. Please don't lose this one. Oh, the Broncos. Oh. Us Raiders fans call the Broncos the Donkeys. Okay, thank you, James. And Urban. The Broncos are terrible, though, aren't they? I mean, the Jets almost lost to them, but that's not saying much. But there's nothing like New York pizza. Yeah, and James would agree with me on this. Okay, there's a difference between Sparrow pizza and like at your corner family mom and pop shop Italian pizza place pizza, right? Because people think Sparrow pizza is like New York pizza. No, that's like it's not even in the same category. It's like a chain. It's like a chain restaurant. Yeah. It's like a chain restaurant. It's like Italian food, but it's a chain. No? See, you don't go in the city, that's why. When we go in there, I'll show you. I know. But that's where they have them in the city. Breece Hall is on my fantasy team. That's a good pickup. He's pretty good, right? The Jets running back. Even Jersey pizza is good. I cannot say I've had Jersey pizza. I'm not sure about that. I'll take your word for it, though, James. So as you guys can see, what do you guys think of the new template? I'm going to have me on the screen here, and then to my side, you guys can see the live game cast, because I can't do the actual stream. So many people come in here and say, why isn't the game on? Blah, blah, blah. No, I can't actually live stream the game. That's copyrighted, especially by the NHL. So, this is as close as we can get to that. So you guys can get an idea of the score while also seeing the ice, kind of. So hopefully you guys like this. I wish there was a way I could take out the, like the top part. I'm not really sure how I could do that, but that's something I could look into, and eventually I'll work on it. But hopefully you guys like it. Yeah, it is kind of like Papa John's. Calgary has the best pizza. I want the face cam bigger. Okay, we could work on that. We could work on that. Whoa, why is Lee getting attacked? What the hell happened there? What the... Oh, that's why. Darnell Nurse went right after Lee. Okay. Alright. Thank God Darnell Nurse is slow. It's not very fast. So if you guys had to pick today, Stanley Cup Final today, who would be in the East? Who would be in the West for the Stanley Cup Final? Who do you guys got? I think it's kind of difficult right now. It's hard for me not to pick Vegas in the West. In terms of the East, it's so freaking wide open. I mean, I could say Jersey. Even the Rangers, man, are in that conversation. I mean, Boston. Imagine Boston won the Stanley Cup this year without Bergeron and Krejci. Oh, that would kill those guys. I'm surprised you say Toronto, because I know Toronto's been struggling a little bit. Morgan, so Kev, how have you been? I have been very good. Thank you so much, Morgan. Yeah, things have been good. I've been really frustrated with this channel. In the past month, we've lost 7 subscribers. So this channel is dying right now. And you know what? I decided, you know what? We need to get back to live streaming. We need to live stream more, get more videos out, and get you guys more involved. And that's on me to do that. And that's why I wanted to make it a point of emphasis tonight to live stream. My goal is to live stream tomorrow night, and I'll keep you guys updated. If you follow our Twitter and you follow our community tab here on the channel, I will let you guys know as soon as possible kind of what the plan is for the week. So if I am live streaming that night, stay tuned, and I will let you guys know as soon as I can. So I've been feeling pretty good. James said, I got a bad feeling about the Isles game. Mainly, they don't win in Edmonton. Yeah, that's true. They do not play well in the West, the Western Canadian area. They don't tend to win these games. For whatever reason, the Islanders they don't play well anywhere right now. But especially, yeah, this Canadian road trip definitely is tough on the Islanders. So some of you guys have some interesting ones. So Vegas, Toronto, Dallas, and New Jersey. I like that one, PJ. PJ might have it, guys. I like that one a lot. Dallas and New Jersey Stanley Cup Final. That sounds like Mike Modano, Marty Brodeur, early 2000s, but I love it. That would be great. Carolina versus Colorado, or Vancouver versus the Rangers, a 91 rematch. Oh, in 94. In 94, they bought the cup. That's right. So 94 rematch, Vancouver versus the Rangers. That would be really cool. Bless you. You keep sneezing over there. Vegas versus the Carolina Hurricanes. That could be really good too. Flames smoking that Islanders pack soon. Yeah, we'll see. Hey, what's going on, Toe? We were just talking about your Capitals a minute ago. Thank you for joining us, and of course, congratulations on beating the Islanders the other night, like everybody else recently. But I'm glad to see him in the chat. Crap. That was a bad hit by Fogle. Oh, Mayfield's already getting hurt. Islanders versus Wild Stanley Cup Final. Oh, God. That could be scary, James. Ooh. The Caps are bussing. So we are in the final 2 minutes of the second period. No one has scored here in the second period. It is 1-1 in the Orange and Blue Bowl between the Islanders and the Oilers. There's only 2 games on tonight. Tonight, of course, we are watching one of the two games, the Islanders and the Oilers. But we also have the Grubauer Bowl as the Colorado Avalanche and the Seattle Kraken are playing as well. That's it for NHL action tonight. Only 2 games. So, hopefully you guys are enjoying tonight's live stream. James Farrell said, always want an Isles versus Rangers Eastern Conference Finals again. That is terrifying. Because I don't think anybody is ready for that amount of pressure. Especially if that series goes to 7 games. I'd almost prefer it go to 4 and one team or the other wins. Because I don't think I have enough heart capacity to take a 7-game series of Islanders-Rangers. It is difficult enough during the regular season. I cannot imagine a playoff series. Oh my god. That would be insane. Urban said, I wonder if Guerin will fire Dean while they're in Sweden this weekend and not bring him back to the States. Urban, I don't think he would do him dirty like that, but that would be kind of funny if he did. I don't see it. I really don't. I could see that being a firing, though. See, here's the thing now, because I think there is a little bit of a gentleman's agreement between American Thanksgiving and until New Year's, nobody gets fired. Now, that's not always the case. There's obviously extreme cases where it has to happen. But I think there is a little bit of a gentleman's gamesmanship there where it's like, all right, if you're not fired before Thanksgiving, like the week of Thanksgiving, you're not getting fired till the new year. And I think that's why even a situation like Edmonton is very interesting because they knew they wanted to do it. But I think the Islanders are kind of in that situation. And that's why I said, really, after this road trip is perfect for Lou Lamoriello. If the Islanders, let's say they go 2-2 or 1-3 on this road trip, it's very easy to come home. I think it's the week of Thanksgiving, that Sunday, and say, listen, things aren't working, Lane. We got to make a change. We want to do this before the holidays, and we don't want to do it during the holidays, so we're going to do it now. And that could very well happen. Lou Lamoriello might not give a shit about that, and it might not matter anyway, but it is something worth noting. And James said, you never saw the 80s Isles. I did, and it was epic versus the Rangers. Yeah, honestly, I'm sure it would be nice. Especially Kenny Morrow, right? Didn't he get the game-winning goal? One of the cups, the Islanders beat the Rangers when they weren't supposed to. JP Parise got a game winner against the Rangers. Breaking news from PJ. Breaking news, everyone. Breaking news. The Flames are better than the Islanders. I don't know about that, PJ. I don't know. Take a look at the standings. I think your eyes are a little deceiving you there, PJ. But thank you for the comment. Oh, Zizekas. Okay, so looking at this game so far, kind of how I expected it. Honestly, both these teams are struggling mightily to score goals. So I can't say I'm too surprised that we're seeing both teams struggle in terms of the goal department. But So there you go. That's the end of the period. So let's take a look. So there are some stats for you guys here tonight. So, of course, team stats, 20 shots for the Islanders, 14 for Edmonton, 24 hits for the Oilers, 18 for the Islanders, and, of course, 1 penalty for the Islanders and 2 for the Oilers. Face-off percentage, Edmonton is just winning a little bit by 56%, 56.5 to 43 for the Islanders. And so far, really, it's been a matter of who is going to make the big mistake first. And, wow, Cody Ceci playing 15 minutes tonight already. God damn. All right, so Cody Ceci, that's their guy tonight. Oh, kind of puts a little more pressure on the Islanders. They should be beating Cody Ceci up, but James said, I had to listen to the 79 Eastern Conference Final on the radio because my parents didn't have cable yet. Wow. I asked for cable for my birthday the following year, and I could watch them. And then, watch the Islanders. Morgan said, breaking news, the Knights will be a contender for the next 5 years. That sounds like a quote that not George McPhee, what's the owner's name? I forgot his name. Bill Foley. Bill Foley said something to that effect with the Golden Knights. James said, I thought the Oilers were bad, or are we bad? I think it's a combination of both, unfortunately, James. I do think the Islanders are pretty bad, and I hate to say it, I think this road trip is going to remind the Islanders and their fans that this is not the Islanders teams we remember from 2020 and 2021. Yeah, I know. I would hit the air horn just to see if he wakes up, but he's being really cute. Sad when Ceci is the guy. Yeah, that's very true, Tom. Yeah, Ceci is the guy right now. That should tell you all you need to know about the Oilers' blue line. At least they stop the puck. Yeah, that's true. They do. You think the owner sees this garbage? Yeah, probably not. So what does tomorrow's slate actually look like, guys? Do you guys have any idea? Maybe I'll let you guys... How about this? I will let you guys pick which game we should live stream tomorrow. How about that? I think that's fair. Oh, there's a couple of pretty good games on. Yeah, so guys, in the chat, let me know which game you would like me to live stream tomorrow night. Just not the Sharks-Panthers game. That's late. That's 10:30. That's past my bedtime. I'm ready for bed right now. No 10:30 start times. But other than that, I'm willing to do any of the other games. That's cute. So I'll let you guys look at the schedule here for a minute. What do you guys think? What game should we do? Got Boston, Buffalo on there. That could be a pretty good game. Probably not Calgary, Montreal. Vegas, Washington could be good. Honestly, the game that intrigues me, the game that intrigues me is New Jersey and Winnipeg. That might be the best game on tomorrow night. Because Columbus isn't very good. Washington's been better, but they're not great. It's hard to argue it's hard to argue that Boston Buffalo isn't a big rivalry game though tomorrow night. But in terms of actual good game, it might be Winnipeg, New Jersey. Let me know what you guys think. Vegas versus Washington, 2018 Cup rematch. That's true, Morgan. Devils, Jets, Bruins, Vegas, Vegas Caps, Pens, Penguins, Columbus. That could be a good game too. So as of right now, we're going with Vegas. Vegas Capitals. So unless a bunch of you guys jump in and change, I think we're going to go with Vegas, Washington tomorrow night. Toe, are they really? No way. Are they really playing that good? They're 6-1-1 in their last 8 games. It's almost like they're playing better without Backstrom. Because I know out of the gate, they kind of stumbled out of the gate. The Caps lost a couple games. They didn't look that good in the beginning of the year, and I kind of wrote them off. But maybe, I haven't been watching the Capitals much. Maybe they are turning it around. 6-1-1 is definitely impressive. What's wrong with the Kraken? I don't know. I hate to say it. I don't like to say people I like or don't like. I'm not a huge fan of I'm not a huge fan of their coach there. I forgot his name. He was the Flyers coach, Dave Hackstall. I was not a huge fan of that guy in Philly. So I don't know if he's that good of a schedule, a good of a coach. I'm losing it, guys. I don't think he's that good of a coach, in all honesty. So I don't know. I think they have guys that can score, right? I mean, Jaden Schwartz has 8 goals. They've got some power play goals. They're scoring goals. Their penalty kill is okay. Their power play is okay. So I don't know. I think it's just a combination of it's just a bunch of things I think going on in Seattle right now. I mean, look at their schedule so far. They've really stumbled out of the gate. I mean, look at this stretch right here. They lost a bunch of games. Vegas, Nashville, St. Louis, Colorado, the Rangers, Carolina, Florida. Yeah, they did have a tough schedule. That is a good point. Oh, you're saying a soft schedule. But there's some pretty tough teams in there. But then they beat Tampa. They lost to the Oilers. That's concerning for a multitude of reasons. One of them being that the Oilers just are not good. But then they beat Colorado, but Colorado hasn't looked great this week. So it's like, I don't know. It's hard to get a read on what the Kraken are still. I'm still holding out on them. And they're rematching with the Oilers tomorrow night. So that'll be on Wednesday night. So that should be a pretty good game. Oh, Caps have a soft schedule. Yeah, I got to look at this now because now Toe's got me thinking. If they really are playing that well. Yeah, because look, they lost 4 of their first 5 games. And then I do remember that game against the Devils. That was on my birthday. I went out to dinner that night and they won that game. And that was Hunter Shepard's first NHL game. I remember that. I do remember that. The Bills Donkeys are tied now. Man, the Bills have really fallen off, haven't they? Yikes. They beat the Wild. I mean, everybody and their mother, other than the Oilers, has beaten the Sharks. But they beat the Sharks. They lost to the Islanders. And that's another game. I saw that Islander game when they lost 3-0 to the Islanders, and I'm like, I guess Washington's still not playing well. But, I mean, they beat the Devils twice already. That's not easy to do. I don't know. The Capitals are a weird team. I'm not ready to go full in on them yet, but 6-1-1 is impressive. I will give them that. That is awesome to see them playing that well. But I don't know. I'm still, they're not in the same situation as the Seattle Kraken, but I'm not ready to sell myself out for the Capitals just quite yet. The Golden Knights have been solid. I don't know if Morgan's still in here, but the Golden Knights, man, I mean, they had those 2 back-to-back losses against the Kings and Ducks, and other than that, we know what this team's about. We know what Vegas can do to anybody. They steamroll teams if they get the chance, right? 5-0 over San Jose, 7-0 over the Avs, 5-2 over the Jets, 5-3 over the Blackhawks and Jets, right? If they get the opportunity, they will steamroll teams. And I'm sure you guys will love this, but I guess the Golden Knights visited the White House. Oh my God, a Joe Biden Golden Knights jersey. Very, very interesting there. Okay. So that's what we'll do. So tomorrow night around the same time, 9:30ish. Oh my God, Jesus. Around 9:30 tomorrow night, we will do probably the third period at that point because it's a 7 o'clock start. The Golden Knights and the Capitals. So if you guys are interested in checking out that live stream, we will be back here again tomorrow night. And I'll probably be doing a live stream Wednesday, but we'll worry about that when we get there. Let's just get through tonight and tomorrow, and we'll see how things go for Wednesday. Why don't we take a look at the standings? So the standings right now, let's just look in the divisions. These ads are incredible. You guys are seeing these ads probably like, what the heck is Kevin looking up? Retired. My back is not, I don't know what that says, whatever. Anyway, back to the Eastern Conference. So, the Boston Bruins leading the way in the East. The Rangers are right there, though. 11-2-1 are the New York Rangers. God damn. They're playing really well. So the Rangers are right there with the Bruins. In the West, same thing. You kind of have, really you have 3 teams that are at the top of the Western Conference. It's Vegas, Vancouver, and Dallas. Dallas and Vegas don't surprise me. That's not much of a shock to me. The only thing is I expected 3 teams to be really dominating in the West right now. I just didn't expect it to be Vancouver. I expected it to be Colorado. But as you guys are seeing right now, they are struggling a little bit. They're currently on a 2-game skid. And hopefully they're able to find their game a little bit because it's definitely been a little bit of a problem for them. All right, guys. So I think that's going to do it for tonight. It's starting to slow down a little bit. It's after 10:30. I'm definitely feeling a little bit tired. And like I said, we will be back tomorrow night around 9:30 for our next live stream. Quick shout out to all of you guys for joining us here tonight. Huge shout out to our members here in the chat. We want to shout out our members. Ange, PJ, who else was in here? Irish was in here earlier. So all of my members, thank you so much. And if you would like to become a member at the channel, links to that are in the description down below if you want to help support the channel. That definitely helps us out. Just watching these streams helps out as well. Subscribing to the channel. I know, the economics, especially around the holidays, can be tough. So if you don't have the funds, just watching these live streams and just liking them is more than enough. And I really do appreciate everything you guys do. I know you guys have your valuable time in your day as much as anyone else. And I'm glad that you spend your time with us here at Goal Line Hockey. Like I said, tomorrow night, the Capitals and the Golden Knights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. We will be live streaming the third period of that game. I'm hoping to do it around 9 o'clock, so probably closer to 9, because the game will be over by 9:30. But it seems like the stream held up. I'm really, really happy with that. James said you're doing the next Isles game. I'm not sure yet, James. I might just do that because PJ is also, who is a big member here, he's a big Flames fan, so I kind of want to shove it in his face when the Islanders beat the Flames. At least I hope they do. But yeah, I think we might be doing something. I think they're playing Wednesday, right? If I'm not mistaken, I think it's the Islanders and Flames on Wednesday. And if that's the case, I think we can make that. We could make that work. Oh, so they play Vancouver on Wednesday. Oh, that's a late game at 10:30. Jesus, Islanders, you're killing me with this road trip. So Saturday they play. Okay, so we could do that one too. We'll see. We'll see how tomorrow night goes, James, but I will try and do as many Islanders live streams as I can. But definitely tomorrow night I will be back, and maybe Wednesday. Again, if you follow us on the community tab, you subscribe to the channel, you'll get those updates. I'll let you know as soon as I can officially when I'm doing the live streams, what games I'll be live streaming, and all of that stuff for you guys. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Thank you once again to our members, and I will see you guys again next time. Peace out, guys.